Hello, folks, and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today, a very quick one. Yes, I know. No, today, really a quick one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time today explaining something, just to show you the data at the end, making my personal conclusion what's happening. Just to make it clear, Bitcoin is surprising me. SPY did what I was expecting, a little bit weak. I was expecting it can break the 385 today or 3860 on SPX because DXY is declining as expected. In my opinion, the local bottom on DXY is going to be 107.4, and we will maintain again this trade area between 107.4 and 108 for a while. Expecting that next week, when the European Central Bank is going to announce their decision for the interest rate, um, the euro can get another hit. That's at least my expectations. I know many will say, but Inspo, that's already priced in the market. Yes, maybe. I don't think so because everything related to Europe doesn't look very strong, to be honest. The ECB just reacted too late, in my opinion. And, well, I'm saying a lot of stuff that doesn't look great. Just to say that, even for example, federal banks, at least in Germany, their portfolio has an P&L of minus 30%. That's a lot. And not only federal banks, the banking sector in general, and that's really huge. So at the moment they are just becoming a little bit nervous because they see that the markets are not really showing any bullish signals, not really bullish signals. We know short-term bullish, but in the midterm, and I would say in the long term, much more bearish just because of the macroeconomical situation, geopolitical situation. Even if I have heard that many experts, military experts, are expecting an end of the war in Ukraine for end of the year. If that's right, that would at least explain why the Pelosi family is buying stocks and calls for the first 2 quarters of next year, 2023. However, mm, just to see a rally doesn't mean the bull market is still intact, or it doesn't mean we will go and moon next. So we need to be very careful and try to be unbiased, check the market, and trade the data, not our opinion, and so on and so forth. So let us go forward and let us take a look what's happening to the weights ratio 30 days moving average. And nothing big, to be honest. It declined a little bit, but as you see, nothing big. So we need to see, unfortunately, as mentioned yesterday, it's too early at the moment just to say what's going to happen next, because we had such a situation just before. The weights ratio daily just dumped once, letting the price go up a little bit and just initiating an automatic rally, and afterwards the weights ratio was starting to lift up even more. So maybe that's happening again, and that's just a deviation and nothing else, and we are still on track. But we need to see. As mentioned, weights ratio takes a little bit of time. It's not just an indicator I would trade. Only the indicator, I wouldn't trade it. It's just one other puzzle piece or tool that we use to see the whale sentiment, and even if it declines, keeps being very high, indicating there are still distributing and sending spots to the exchanges, and we can see that today. Um, when we check the charts and when we compare, for example, what's happening related to SPY, because Bitcoin in the past used every lift up by the SPY to pump up, for example, something. It's not happening. Instead, we are receiving more sell pressure right now. We are receiving more spot indicating we can have another correction to the downside. I'm not sure if this weekend could be very red. At the moment, I don't know. Let us check together the market and make our own conclusion afterwards. The Wills ratio 30 hours moving average is indicating it was declining. Right now it seems it's lifting up. Also matches very well to the price action, to be honest. If we check the stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges, lifting up, it seems it's declining right now. I have noticed some whale alerts as usual, as we have seen in the past month every day. Withdraw Tether from Binance 40, 50 millions several times today. Again, wondering what's going to happen with this money, to be honest. If that's going to go back to Tether and once at once, that would be well, I was close to say funny, maybe not that funny, but you know, hopefully what I mean. It could be a big challenge for Tether to bring all this liquidity together and to pay out all of them. But we know Paulo, he would say, everything is fine, we have the money. Well, maybe they have the money. We will see. However, stablecoin supply maintains down. So it's also not indicating we are, you know, I mean, all that money, those 15 billion US dollars in stablecoin that just were gone are not coming back. So not indicating we will go and start the next bull run. That's not going to happen in my opinion. Well, whales doing what they love to do, as mentioned several times in the past, and distribution. Distribution, distribution. Let the price go up, distribution. Okay, so let the price go up, distribute. Let the price go up, distribute. Let the go up, distribute. And so on and so forth. That's what they are doing all the time. Surprising me, once again, because they are still selling at 20,000. Really surprising me. I don't know who is selling and why they are selling, but they are selling. Of course, we have also buyers, otherwise it's not going to work. But yeah. Well, let us go further and check the flow activity. I have mentioned that just a few minutes ago on Twitter. We have received in the last 2 hours almost 7,500 bitcoins. It's not big compared to what we have seen in the past, right? But just if we check, for example, the last time we had such big um, inflow was July 7th, and that was very close to the top. So afterwards, we did another bull trap hitting 22,500, and afterwards, we have started to decline. And well, afterwards, we did from 22 almost to back to 19. A little bit wondering that they are doing that now. Doesn't mean they are going to sell everything right now. Okay, that's something I see even today when IT Tech was just sharing his opinion about the 14,000 bitcoins withdraw or outflow from miner pools. Some people were claiming, oh, Bitcoin is pumping up, so nobody is selling. stop guys being unfair to analysts. It doesn't make sense, really not, because otherwise make your own stuff and let these people in peace. Okay? If you don't like their work, let them just in peace. Only because miners sent 40,000 Bitcoin to, I don't know, maybe it was OTC deal, so maybe bullish, maybe they have created a personal wallet. I don't know. I have tracked this transaction. They have this wallet is relatively new from June, beginning of June or end of May, and it received now these 14,000 Bitcoins. That's it. We don't know what's behind. We don't know even if that's a cold wallet not labeled by any exchange at the moment. We know that miners are using more and more option trading to make some profit, just to pay their fixed cost, energy cost, and so on and so forth. So, but you know, I was reading some really unfair tweets like, you are fooling people, 14,000 bitcoins withdraw from miners, but the price, the Bitcoin price, is lifting up right now. Only why someone is sending 14,000 bitcoins, even to a exchange hot wallet, doesn't mean he is going to sell immediately afterwards. We know that miners are not that dumb. Miners wait to see the local top and to sell the local top. They did that several months ago as well. So please be respectful to the analysts. It doesn't matter if he is a very extremely bullish one or an extremely bearish one. It's really easy if you don't agree with his content just to unfollow him and that's it. But don't be unfair, okay? So, however, 7,500 bitcoins in 2 hours. We have received this midnight almost 155 million in stablecoins. You know, it doesn't mean these stablecoins are reserved just to buy bitcoins. They can buy altcoins as well. We didn't receive or we couldn't detect any big outflows, stablecoin outflows. And that's something that's really wondering me. But usually when we see in at once some big stablecoin inflows means they want to push up the price or they are expecting a sell off and they want to absorb as much as they want or can. At least here just looks like they wanted to push up a little bit the price. Now I would expect more incoming stablecoins to the spot exchanges to absorb all these bitcoins as soon as they start to sell them. That's it. So, future market. Today I have mentioned we have received 9,700 bitcoins to derivative exchanges. 1 hour later, we can see they took off just 9,600 bitcoins. So almost that was a very quick operation while they pushed up the price, indicating, I guess, they longed with these and they did a quick operation to make a quick profit, and that's it, in my opinion. Maybe it's a coincidence that almost the same amount just was withdrawn afterwards, but coincidences. However, today I have to say the Bitcoin inflows and outflows, so the Bitcoin activity to derivative exchanges is lifting up, and usually that means that some bigger move should happen very soon. At least that's the pattern we have seen in the past. Even to stablecoins, it's not that big, but I mean today at least an outflow of 220 million, as we can see here, it's not that low. But yeah, we had in the past much more, 500, 600 millions, and so on and so forth. If we check the funding rate is declining. Usually that happens because retailers, as soon as we lift up, they start to short. I'm not going to make a teaser, but I have tweeted about that twice today, so it's not a big surprise that I'm struggling with Bitcoin collateral futures because they are showing a negative CBD, indicating they are shorting more than longing. And that's exactly the opposite of what they are doing with um, what they are doing for with stablecoin futures, for example. Very strange. And the last time that was an indicator of dump. Afterwards, they nuked. But so, however, the traders, future traders, are demanding much more shorts than longs. If we take the open interest, is lifting up with the leverage ratio. So also gambling on the table. If we take a look right now here to the blockchain whispers, we will see we have now it flipped very well. As mentioned, as higher we go, more shorts they are creating. Maybe everything is a trap just to accumulate late shots and to pump afterwards. Possible only if SPY lifts up even more. But at the moment, if we check, doesn't look like. Doesn't look like. And I think DXY is going to take a little bit longer, maybe go up a little bit more before it goes down even more. So we need to be very careful. Weekends are always a little surprise and trap. So, you know. However, a lot more of shorts with a long short ratio indicating, I would say 46 to 54. Not really accurate because we had much more longs in the past than shorts and we lifted up afterwards. So I wouldn't say that that means they are going just to push up $5,000 just to wreck all the shorts. We will take a look to the liquidation map and see what's happening there. So also to Ethereum, even more shorts happening here, indicating almost 58 to 42. So indicating 58% are shorting, 42 only longing. If we take a look here, let me check if I can get a blue one. Otherwise, I don't have any credit. No, again, sixth time in a row. Something is wrong here. Okay, let us check what's happening here. It takes a little bit, as you know. Wow, okay. So we have much more volume and high leverage on the long side than to the short side. Let us see if we can find this position on FTX as well. That, I mean, that's nothing. That's really nothing, but let us check. Okay, so come on, Kingfisher. It takes a lot of time every time. Come on. Show me the liquidation map for FTX. Oh, Jesus. Nice. Okay. I think I should make a break here. Ah, okay. Well, what should I say? No, that's Binance. What the hell? Okay, I will make a break and go forward when the liquidation map is showing up. So finally we can see FTX here, and also we can see, well, I mean, that's really, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 millions. That's nothing. Almost low volume short, so we don't have one big position. We have a lot of positions, but nothing really huge. Like for example here, that's exactly the same like on Binance. So it wouldn't surprise me if we go a little bit more up, and then afterwards, like we did in the past, go down again to liquidate all of them. Because if we check, we are extremely close to the current price. So it seems someone is pushing the price up. Also with stablecoin futures, something I have said in the beginning of this video. So let us go forward and check the options trades. So what's happening here? Well, first of all, as mentioned just on Twitter, something that actually I don't like to see is, first of all, they are not on, at least based on the aggregated CBD spot, it's not indicating any huge accumulation. If TX has a positive trend in spot CBD, indicating they are buying more than selling, but that's just a trend. Just to make that clear, the aggregated spot is just showing actually the price action, right? Go up, then down, a little bit up, and now stabilizing. If we check the price action, up, down, up, and stabilizing, even declining a little bit. It's the same with stablecoin collateral with future. Jesus, stop Inspo. We can see also futures stablecoin margin contracts. The aggregated CBD is showing exactly the same price action. What I don't like to see is aggregated CBD futures coin margin contracts indicating they are using Bitcoin collateral and they are shorting at the same time. They are selling. That's a short. Okay, they are not buying like here, for example. They are selling. And that's something, where I'm struggling a little bit. Because if we check, we are not talking about just few. We are talking about almost 2.8 billion. That's really big. And I don't like to do that because it doesn't make really sense to use such a high time frame for CBDs, for example. And now some people will say, look, it's always negative. No, it's not always negative. It's only then negative if the price action goes more to the downside and not to the upside. That's the thing. However, if we check, for example, let us go zoom in a little bit to 12 hours, maybe it makes more sense. Can we see that better? Oh, that's crap. So, if we check, for example, here, they lifted up, the price lifted up. That was a little, well, it wasn't a little rally, that was their rally from here, actually, and that matches very well up. That's what they did. Since then, as you see, we had our all-time high. Then we got the rejection. I don't remember which one it was. And in December, we received our general spot ETF rejection that was somewhere here. So since then, they have started to short with Bitcoin collateral all the time, all the time, all the time. Then we had, as you see here, that lifted up. Also here, it lifted up. Since then, just declining, 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 declining. So and that's something I don't want, I don't like to see how it's declining here with Bitcoin collaterals, to be honest. I'm still struggling with my interpretation because if they if nobody would bring some, I mean, you see the future collaterals lifting up, 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 up. That's pushing the price in the future market a little bit down. Well, a little bit, I wouldn't say a little bit, but down. I'm not sure if that's the strategy. To use bitcoins for it? Hmm, I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't like to see that. Because even last time, and that's what they did, if we check, for example, when they have started to short with Bitcoin collaterals, it was here. So while we were lifting up, they have started to short. And afterwards we shorted, we went down, then we lifted up, and they kept shorting it. Yeah, just to say, I don't like that, to be honest. I really don't like that. So, well, if we check that here, that's Coinbase. Coinbase, of course, as usual, buying, buying, buying. We check here. Also the same. Gemini buying nothing big, absolutely nothing big, but they are buying. At least the CBD is indicating more buy than sells. Binance, as you see, maintains a level, is not lifting up like in the past, for example. So it seems that FTX and Coinbase are here the main driver of the spot aggregated spot CBD. If we check, for example, now here, that's Bitfinex, not buying big, absolutely. Something they did, for example, here. Of course, if we zoom even more out, they did a very nice deal here. They bought at 17, but since then, nothing. So they did here a really huge trade, and that's it. That's really it. If we check, for example, Binance Perp, we can see that the funding rate is declining while the open interest is lifting up. In my opinion, not really. I would say it looks a little bit more bearish than bullish, to be honest. Even I'm taking into account the option trades, but we have an expiry that give us time until end of the month. And we had some really bearish one. Now we are seeing some bullish ones. I don't know. I really don't know. Let us go further. Oh, no. We check what's happening to the entities. First of all, not accumulating. Keeps, as soon as they accumulated some, they use it afterwards to sell again. This one, wow, look that, not accumulating. These guys were accumulating. Now the question is if they start to distribute. I don't think so, but we need to track them. Retailers, yes, of course, they are buying. Well, in these big ones, we have 90 wallets there, mainly labeled and linked to exchanges. Also here, the balance is lifting up. Could be an indicator that they received 70,000 bitcoins. So maybe even exchanges. If we take a look, for example, here, it was July 6th. They had 2,090,000 and now 2,140,000 Bitcoins. Absolutely possible. Yeah. So if that's the case, next time they will dump it. We have seen that even the entities or wallets are just showing more activity at the moment. Nothing big, but lifting up. So we are not seeing such kind of moves here, for example, not yet. But it's really interesting because if you check, mm, they never started. I mean, we are on our way to go up. It's really interesting that these guys are so active right now and not waiting to go even more up. And that's something also let me struggle a little bit, to be honest. So, but now, let us go forward. Let us see Coinbase first. 25, a lot here, but nothing very close. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Deribit. Let us make a quick check to see if we can find something that could be useful short term. Nothing. No big volume, nothing. Just nothing. Bitstamp. Bitstamp 22K with 190 bitcoins. Yeah, nothing, nothing, nothing. Binance Spot at the moment 21,800. That's it. Bitfinex Spot 23.7. Nothing. FTX Perp. Okay. 23. A lot here at 23, 23.5 and 24. But also nothing big, to be honest. They remove these walls here. That's interesting. That could be an indicator they want to lift up, but at the same time, they are not limiting their way down anymore and even removed here. So it's going to be very interesting. OKEX spot, nothing. Kraken spot at 23 and downside 19. BitMax also interesting at 25. Yeah. Bitfinex derivatives at 23. Nothing else. Kraken futures. Nothing. OKEX futures. Nothing. FTX spot. Nothing. And Binance futures. Phew. A lot of stuff, but nothing. Just here 18.8 limiting, but really absolutely nothing. Here at 21,500, but nothing big. 900, nothing. Really nothing. A lot of different, of course, but we have on both ways, well, maybe a little bit more here between 22 and 21 200, but with enough stablecoins they can push up without any problem. So that's it. Nothing really useful here, nothing indicating a possible top, maybe 23k, but that's actually it. So I can imagine that. I mean, it would surprise me if they are not using the opportunity to lift up while the SPY algos are pushing the price up. Instead, they are distributing to go then to the weekend and to push up. The only reason why it would make sense for them to push up while it's weekend It's because of the volume. They can push up with just buying less, and then in the next week start to distribute again with a rising volume. That would make sense. And that's the only reason why they could do that. That's just, quick profit. Weekend, they can move weekends, the whole price action with low volume. It doesn't matter. So we will see. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm going to trade this weekend or just to stay away and see what's going to happen, because it's a little bit boring me what they are doing weekend. Sometimes nothing, then pump, scam dump. It's just to shake out, in my opinion, and doesn't make sense to trade, but we will see. Let us talk about my personal conclusions.